Welcome everyone to Khenpo Tenzin's teaching series on the Jewel Ornament of Liberation. This is episode 53, and we will begin today's teachings with opening prayers on the Yellow Prayer Book, page number 5. May all Mother Sentient Beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all Mother Sentient Beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all Mother Sentient Beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Shaji Jabe Jadun Gujan Sar, Dorjin Janjin de Lona Tang, Marba Mala Chuja Gambo Ba, Pamodra Javan Dragomba, Kajula Manam Jeda Joje, Dananda Nazara Tam Jeda, Lama Lapa Laye Jizozo, Lozayon Denjamzang Alawa, Tinde Donjin Rebegele Zur, Dazo Lo, Juzon Rover Zinjel of the Sur, Chualam Den Rover Zinjel of the Sur, Lan Drova Zebra Zinjel of the Troy Juzon Javar Zinjel of the Sur, Kange Denjen Rever Jong, Gabo Meba Je, Meba Cheba Meba Ta, Meba Wa Meba Dro, Meba Tate Dome Dunje Me, Drubanye Jedemba. Zoba Sanje Mananje, Tamba de la Janzar, Do, Chenje, Zava Lama Jeje, Kusondo Jesanan Dada, Dage, Julam Bede, Dage, Dembada Sunje, Don La Bojen, Rebar Sanje Lab Dozo. Okay, many interested, the Dharma brothers and sisters, and today, if you have this jewel ornament text book, the page number is 285. Actually, we are Dharma practitioners. So we we have to practice Dharma through happiness, happy mind, because we should help many beings, visible beings and invisible beings. We are going to help all samsaric beings. Samsaric beings, they are in the samsara. Samsara means ocean of suffering. So 24/7 they are suffering. So we are going to purify their suffering. So that's where we should practice Dharma happily or with happiness. But this happiness, we don't we don't need to create happiness. But if we look at our life, if we think about our mind, then we can be happy? Because number one, we attend precious human life. Uh, so next step is Buddha's stage. Uh, we are samsaric being, but we don't have much obscurations because we purified uh, in many lives. We purified obscurations for many lives. So that's why we attend precious human life. And especially we can be happy because Buddha is not far from us. Buddha is with us. So, for instance, I'm willing to teach, or I would like to give teaching, and you like to listen teaching. So, this thinking is Buddha's activity. Likewise, you like to help other beings through your body, speech, and mind. This motivation is Buddha. If you like to protect our life, or you like to save a bug on the road, this motivation is Buddha. So, uh, and also you like to meditate. This motivation is also Buddha. And you don't like to harm other beings. This motivation is Buddha. And then, uh, even you would like to recite a single mantra, this motivation is Buddha. So, when I look at you, if I have pure perception, then I can see Buddha. So, likewise, if you look at yourself through pure perception, you will be able to see Buddha. So, for that reasons, Buddha is not far from us. Buddha is more close than our eyes. More close with us. Buddha is very close, more than our eyes. So there is a say, sometimes too close, that's why we can't see it. Like eyes and eyeballs, they are very close, but they can't see each other's. Likewise, Buddha is very close with us, we cannot see it. So now, for practicing Dharma, means we try to see Buddha. We don't try to create Buddha. We don't try to make Buddha. So that's why you should be happy, keep happiness, happy mind. Right now you have a Buddha in your mind, and then uh, sooner or later you will become Buddha, or you will become enlightened. So that's where you should be happy. So particularly Dharma practitioners need happiness. And we are going to lead all these sentient beings on the stage of happiness. Happiness. We cannot buy happiness. We cannot find happiness under the ground if we dig the ground. And we cannot get happiness from far, how much we try to travel to far away. So which means through Dharma practice, we can arise happiness. So if we have a happiness and a happy mind, then our mind is also become, our mind is also pure mind. So then our families, friends, and neighbors all happy. So that's why we should practice Dharma with happiness. And then loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, they are the lights of happiness, or lights of Buddha nature, like sun rays. So how can we help other beings? We can help other beings through compassion, loving kindness, and bodhicitta. So that's I hope you keep that in your mind. That every morning when they were wake up, they happily, joyfully they woke up. The reason is they thought, oh, today again I have a golden opportunity to practice Dharma. So Dharma, we are talking a lot about Dharma. Dharma means bodhicitta. Dharma means compassion. Practice means we work with this. Dharma practice means something here, and we are there, and we are here. That is not smart. So Dharma practice means bodhicitta, loving kindness, compassion. Practice means we work with this. Then another thing is, probably you have that question. Okay, if Buddha is very close with us, Buddha is with us, then there are lots of sufferings, problems. How? So that means it's like the sun and the earth. So between sun and earth, the moon enters there, then earth getting dark. Sometimes the earth move as like a garland or move. At that time, some side, some surface of the earth, there is no sunlight. Likewise, when we have a Buddha, Buddha is here, but when we arise emotions, negative emotions, at that moment we could not experience happiness, but we experience suffering. So that's where who is early, who are the earlier, Buddha or ignorance? Usually with the samsara or nirvana. For sure, nirvana is earlier, and Buddha, and also there are countless of other thinking beings, but we count only 1002 Buddhas But then we think uh, Buddhas are more, or there are more Buddhas or thinking beings. There are more Buddhas because all thinking beings are Buddha. So that's why mm, mm, the in reality there is no thinking beings. But in the temporary situations, there are some thinking beings. So for liberating them, we should practice Dharma. Yeah. And then today there is we talk. I continually talk the teach on the kayas. So there, it's talking about Dharmakaya. The Uttara Tantara says, beginnerly devout of center and periphery, it is indivisible without the two, free from the three Stanleys, and non-conceptual, such is realized to be the nature of the ultimate expanse when seen by the yogi resting in meditative equipoise. So Uttatantara, scholar says, Uttatantara, some scholars say Uttatantara is Vajrayana teaching. Some scholars say Uttatantara is Suttarayana teaching. Suttara teaching. So, anyhow, who taught this? Uttara Tantara taught by Asanga. Mm. Asanga is Vasubindu's brother. So, then this teaching is a very important teaching. Actually, Maitreya Buddha taught to Asanga, and this teaching is a profound teaching because it explains about ultimate truth. So here it says, beginnerless devout. Devout means lakinya, devout of center and periphery. Periphery means outer boundary. Yeah? It is indivisible without the two, free from the three. Without the two, free from the three. What is that? Without two, if we are going to realize without two, we are going to free from the three. Three Stanley. Three stands. So, three obscurations. What are the three obscurations? Obscuration of knowledge. Obscuration of knowledge is imprint of afflictive emotion or subtle afflictive emotion. Or defilement. Afflictive emotion, defilement, they are same. And then another obscuration is afflictive emotion. Afflictive emotion is, for example, attachment, aversion, jealousy, and so forth. And then third obscuration is dullness and agitated thoughts. Agitation. Yeah, agitation and dullness. And another way it's related five expellable deeds or actions. So that's anyhow, it says that when seeing the such is realized to the to be the nature of the ultimate experience when seen by the yogi resting in meditative equipoise. If we should see Buddha nature, then we are going to meditate. Yogi, here says, yogi resting in meditative equipoise. So, meditation is extremely important. Meditation is extremely important. Meditation will we are removing our thoughts, gross thoughts, and subtle thoughts, both. So, the meditation has in the Suttarayana, there are shamatha and vipassana. And in Vajrayana, completion stage and generation stage. Generation stage, yeah. So that's where we try to bring our attention together and then rest in the peaceful stage. Otherwise, only our attention bring together, we can't say that is meditation, because when we are angry, at that time all attention comes together. But whenever we arises, our angry emotion arises, then we do not have a peaceful mind. Also, same like other, like for example, jealousy. When jealousy arises, then in our mind, always, we experience uncomfortable situation. And if we have a self pride, then always we compete someone, like competition, or we always try to how to say, we always expect that someone respect to me, and I don't want to respect other beings, so that's where this is the faults of emotion, which is the self pride. Then greed. If we have greed, then we cannot practice generosity. If we cannot practice generosity, then we cannot accumulate merits. Actually, all Dharma practices are, or Dharma activities are included 6 perfections. So the 4 perfections are method, and 1 perfection is wisdom, and then there is another perfection which is helper. So 4 perfections are perfection of generosity, discipline, tolerance, and meditation or concentration. And 1 perfection is perfection of wisdom, and then they have a perfection of help, which is a perfection of diligence. So the 4 perfections are extremely important to gain our realization. For instance, if we suddenly try to practice perfection of wisdom, it's possible there are some side tracks. So sometimes we will misunderstand. For that reasons, sometimes we say, "Oh, everything is emptiness, so there is no karma cause and effect." So whatever we think, we can do it. So that means misunderstanding. Mm. So the methods are very important. So, but what is our main purpose? Our main purpose is to gain, practice the third last perfection, which is the perfection of wisdom. But suddenly explain perfection of wisdom is then quite difficult. So that's where there is a story. Probably you heard that before, perhaps not. So there is a story. So there is a king. So one day he went to uh, the war to fight to his enemies. So he has many queens. He had many queens. So among those queens, one is his favorite queen. He loves very much her. So that way, when he went to the war and fighting to the enemies, that queen passed away. So then there was one minister, very clever or intelligent or some, so wise person. So he uh, thought, oh, what am I gonna do if I don't report that the queen, about the queen lost or the queen passed away? Then it's not okay. But if I report right now, that this then king worried about that. If king worried about that, then he cannot overpower or counter or challenge his enemies. He will lose. So that's where he think, oh, he applied method. Apply means utilize a method. So what is that? He said he sent a messenger, one person, and he told to the king, your queen, like a favorite queen, she has a big wound on her face. Just to say that. And he sent a messenger, and the messenger told to king that king was in the war and fighting to his enemies. Yeah. And then king told to, that is not okay, of course. But he said, let go to the doctor. Take her to the doctor. He sent back that message. And after weeks later, again that minister sent that messenger again and told to king that your queen's face is full of wound. It's become very ugly or something like that. And then the messenger reported that, and then king is not happy, of course, but not so much unhappy. But then he said, oh, it seems it's better to die her before I will die. So which means his attachment a little bit reduced. And so his attention is still about the war and fighting to the enemies. And then this messenger bring this message back and then brought back. And then this minister thought, oh, now it is the right time to report the king and tell him your queen passed away. And then this messenger came there. Then king heard this message, but the king did not too much upset because he already knew she got sick. She has problem wounds on the face. So his focusing is towards his enemy. So that's where then he became victorious and victorious. Thank you. And also then he not so much upset and something like that. So method means like that. So right now we are in Buddha Dharma teaching says 6 perfections: practice generosity, practice forbearance, practice concentration. These are method, but eventually we should come into the stage of perfection of wisdom. Mm. So right now we feel with that we are talking about Buddha or Yidam. Who is my Yidam? Who when I attain Buddhahood, something like that. But uh, it, when we reach on the stage of perfection of wisdom, we are Buddha. We are Yidams. So that's where at that time this we get these answers experientially, not just from lab service. Right now, if you ask me when I become Buddha or something, I just answer something. This is probably lab lab service. But if you practice uh, uh, perfection of wisdom, then you experientially understand that you are Buddha. So that is the best answer. So that's uh, for that reasons our mm, right now we are in desire realm. We are not God realm, and we aren't in demigod realm. If we are in God's realm, now I should talk more the faults of self pride. Self pride. If we are in the hungry ghost realm, I'm going to talk more about the faults of greed. But right now we are in the desire realm, so that's why what should we do is we are going to purify obscurations of afflictive emotions. So how should we purify those obscuration of the afflictive emotion? Through concentration, meditation. We should purify. And so that's where then we become yogi. Mm. Sometimes yeah. Okay, then next, the ornament of Mahayana Sutara also says, Uta Tantara and ornament Mahayana Sutara, these both taught by Maitreya Buddha. So Maitreya Buddha is our future Buddha actually. But Maitreya Buddha is when he became, before he became Buddha, he was Bodhisattva. So when he was a Bodhisattva, he has a special power about bodhicitta, which means he met like a snake. He make birds, deer, and other animals. They all become bodhisattva because his power. Like a sun shines, so then the already under the ground there's some water, and then plants grow into the green. Sometimes a yellow grass is transformed into or turned into the green grass. Likewise, so Maitreya Buddha, when he was Bodhisattva, he met all these beings. They also uh, uh, transformed into the Bodhisattvas. But of course, they also have great karma, yeah. But Maitreya Buddha is a special Bodhisattva when he was Bodhisattva. So, but the future Maitreya Buddha is of the our Buddha. Mm. So he taught that, and this teaching's name is the ornament of Mahayana Sutara. Ornament, yeah. Ornament means decoration. Is beautiful, like jewels and so forth. This is a metaphor. Mahayana means bodhicitta. Bodhicitta. We have a great bodhicitta, Maha means great. Yana probably system. System, this, what is your. Actually, we don't want to ask what is your religion, what is my religion, your religion. Kind of system. So, our system is benefit all beings. That means we should provide our mind everywhere, whole universe. Because our mind is so how to say these unexplainable, unfathomable. Our mind is because it is Buddha. So see, scientist says, oh, the wind is fast, or sunlight is fast. The sunlight came to the earth. I heard around 8 minutes or 8 seconds or something. But mind is very fast. It's almost it's like a miracle. Right now I say Tibet, my mind is there. Right now I say the Pure Land, our mind is there. So that's where our mind can go anywhere, and it's so fast. It's really a miracle. For that, the reason is because it is a Buddha. So Buddha's power is inconceivable, unfathomable. But this power, that power is unfathomable. But then, how should we utilize it? Only for purifying the obscurations and maintain on the stage of happiness. Identical, the nature body, Sobhavika Kaya. Sobhavika Kaya is actually the nature of Trikayas. Nature of Trikayas. Subtle and linked with the enjoy mind body. Sambhoga Kaya. So Sobhavika Kaya and Sambhoga Kaya is actually these Kayas are, in the reality, there are 5 Kayas or 3 Kayas and 2 Kayas we count in different numbers. But we purify the obscurations through this way. We just give different names. Otherwise, there is one Kaya. For that reason, Sobhavika Kaya means it purifies suffering, and we experience bliss, happiness. That part we call the Sobhavika Kaya, and the Sambhoga Kaya. And Sobhavika Kaya means almost like same like Dharmakaya. So then second, the enjoyment body, Sambhogakaya, also has 8 characteristics. Those of entourage. Entourage means retinues or students, and domain, form, marks, teaching, deeds, spontaneity, and absence of in own being. So these 8. So the first, the entourage with which it is spontaneously experienced is composed solely of bodhisattvas, abounding in the 10 bodhisattva levels. So Sobhavika, they teach, they have pure lines. Not Sobhavika, Sambhogakaya. Sambhogakaya, they have teaching, they have disciples, they have a pure land. So that's where, in the relative truth, of course, they have. So the like they have a country, they have people, they have everything, land and so forth. So that's where here says, number 1, how about their entourage, or disciples or sangha. So these Sambhogakaya's students are bodhisattvas, but bodhisattvas has different levels, different layers, because of their the bodhicitta. So first bhumi to 10, there are, for example, 10 bodhisattvas. Usually we say 10 bodhisattvas, 10 bhumis, which means, for example, 10 groups. But we should understand that if we practice bodhisattva for 10 days, then we will become these 10 groups of bodhisattva. So which means today if I practice bodhicitta, I practice more about the perfection of generosity, and cultivate more merits, and I practice it. Then I try to remove some the obscurations of afflictive emotion. At that time, today I am on the stage of first bhumi, first level. Then tomorrow I practice more about moral discipline, and I try to purify the obscurations more than today. If tomorrow I will purify more, then I will reach on the second bhumi. Likewise, it's coming up under 8. Those bodhisattvas purifies obscurations of afflictive emotions. So there are many numbers of the obscurations of afflictive emotions. So after those bodhisattvas reached, for example, 8th day, they start to purify subtle obscuration. What is that? That is obscuration of knowledge. So that's where they start to gain Buddha's wisdom, paramodal wisdom. And then 9th day, and then they increase their realization, and they decrease their obscurations. And then 10th level, at that time, they receive unique, very special empowerment. What is that? They receive unique empowerment, means in the 10 directions, Buddhas radiate light. These lights are wisdom light, paramodal lights. I'm talking in the relative truth, okay? So in the ultimate truth, this is not highest ultimate truth, but in the ultimate truth, Buddhas radiate lights, means they start to radiate their wisdom light from their mind, and they start to understand that. So but in the relative truth, the Buddhas are in the 10 directions. So then 10th Bodhisattva, he is one place, and then they radiate lights, wisdom light, and then he received the power of wisdom. When Bodhisattva in the 9th level, he received the power, and then there are lots of talks, but anyhow, when Bodhisattva who reached on the 10th level, he received special empowerment, and then he can show thousands of pure land from his pulse. So he gained special miracles, special miracles. So miracle powers. So then after he practiced there, and then after next stage is enlightenment. He will become Buddha. So that's where these Sambhogakaya's disciples are bodhisattvas, 10th Bodhisattva levels. 10th Bodhisattva levels. So these Sambhogakaya's disciples are bodhisattvas, 10th Bodhisattva levels. So these Sambhogakaya's disciples are bodhisattvas, 10th Bodhisattva levels. So these Sambhogakaya's disciples are bodhisattvas, 10th Bodhisattva levels. So these Sambhogakaya's disciples are bodhisattvas, 10th Bodhisattva levels. So these Sambhogakaya's disciples are bodhisattvas, 10th Bodhisattva levels. So these Sambhogakaya's disciples are bodhisattvas, 10th Bodhisattva levels. So these Sambhogakaya's disciples are bodhisattvas, 10th Bodhisattva levels. So these Sambhogakaya's disciples are bodhisattvas, 10th Bodhisattva levels. So these Sambhogakaya's disciples are bodhisattvas, 10th Bodhisattva levels. So these Sambhogakaya's disciples are bodhisattvas, 10th his real disciples are like that. The round of him, round of Sambhogakaya, there are thousands of 10 Bodhisattvas levels. This is the first quality, yeah. Then the domain in which it is experienced is that of the utterly purified, pure Buddha fields. So this is his pure land. Domain means land, pure land. So Sambhogakaya's pure land is utterly pure. Why it says actually we say pure land means utterly pure land. Why then Sambhogakaya's pure land is unique? Why is it? Because some pure land is mixed pure and impure. Actually there is a impure, pure, more pure, and utterly pure. So that's where this is utterly pure. So there is no suffering. There is no impermanent. There is no or any kind of the obscurations. Then, but where is this? That is our question. Where is this? Actually, this is here in our crown. So we have a central channel, and there are many chakras. So if we practice well, then our consciousness goes on the pure channel, travels through pure channel, and it reaches each petals or stage of the lotus of channel. Then they are pure, utterly pure, and they experience like that. So there is one Dugongpa master, he got a dream, probably you heard that. One night he just got dream that his master took him in some pure land and giving lots of profound teachings and so forth. He experienced amazing experience. But when he wake up and he noticed his mind travel through channels. So this, when we have dream, is same, yeah. Sometimes our consciousness goes lower part of body, travels through lower part of body, and it goes with karmic wind. Then our dream is very terrible, scary, and lots of, even we wake up still worry about dream sometimes. But always don't think that bad dreams are bad, okay? Sometimes a good sign. Sometimes you have a bad dream, but that is a good sign, which means the sign is that you are purifying, especially when you practice. You are purifying obscurations. So, but in the sometimes our consciousness comes up and upper body and goes nice, travel with wisdom wind, karmic wisdom wind, and then we have a gorgeous dream like we met our guru and we received teachings or practicing, and especially we dreamed like we went to Pure Land or so forth. So that's why the everything is here. Everything is here. So it's quite similar in the computer. There is a zoom in and out. Yeah, sometimes we went to the Google and we search place, for example, Chino Valley. First, we can see whole Earth, and then we zoom out, and then it's going deep. Likewise, we say channels, but we think, oh, channels means there are something we appears on the hands or somewhere. Yes, they are channels, but right now in this teaching, channels means a pure channel, subtle, and wind means also a very subtle wind, or the essence of wind, and also dhatu or tigli. This means also essence of this, but they are related to each others. So. And then the form or way in which it is experienced is in the form of illusories. Illustrious means very special, yeah. Verojana and so forth, yeah. Verojana, and then what is this? Uh, the Amungasidi or so forth. So, who is Sambhogakaya? Yeah. So then we see them. Then Rena Sambhava and so forth. Yeah. The marks with which it is endowed physically are the 32 marks of excellence and the 80 ornaments. So these 32 minor and 80 major, these major marks are very, how to say, unique physical qualities, beauties, like exquisite the form. So they are appear through great merit. Great merit. So, for example, right now we try to make up. Right now, all men and women do that. Yeah, it's good. It's good, but we apply some kind of chemical substances or so forth, and we try to best. Yeah, it's good, which means we like it. But the main thing is we we practice bodhicitta. This we call inner beauty. So we practice bodhicitta, and when we reach Sambhogakaya, at that time we in our body there are 82 minor and 32 minor and 8 major marks. So those are like a crown, and then to the center of the feet. Everywhere has a gorgeous things. So uh, 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 and then this Sobhavakaya always appear like this. Otherwise, some bodhisattvas appear as like a dog and cat or snake and so forth, but that isn't their negative karma. That is how they apply method for benefit other beings. So that's why. But this Sambhogakaya always shows us through these marks. And then the Dharma teachings through which it is perfectly experienced are solely that of the Mahayana. So what they taught is bodhicitta. But sometimes we think, oh, his disciples are 10 the bodhisattvas bodhisattva levels. Then still, why does so Sambhogakaya teach on bodhicitta? Sometimes we feel that. So this is like a bodhicitta is like a nectar. We did not have experience. Otherwise, there's a if we receive nectars, it's unsatisfied. How many times we get it? So that means these bodhisattvas, how many times they receive teaching on the bodhicitta, they still want more and more. But they want means, oh, I'm happy, I want. Not like that. They say, oh, I need this because I should benefit hunger ghost beings of hunger ghost realm. I'm going to benefit beings of hell realm. There are countless of beings. So that's where they listen those teachings. Some they understand. Even I think they're in the listeners of, for example, ordinary teachers teaching. For example, me. Even I, whether my teaching is right or wrong, but still some listen these teachings for benefit other beings. So likewise, the bodhisattvas definitely they learning and they listening the teachings for welfare other beings, welfare other beings. So that's where the Sambhogakaya's teaching is Mahayana, always always teach on Mahayana. Then the enlightened activity that forms its deeds is to predict the future enlightenment of the bodhisattvas and so forth. This is also their responsibility. So what is their responsibility? Is they says, oh, future, you will become like this, and then you will become like that. And so then you will become enlightened. For example, Shakyamuni Buddha predicted about Nagarjuna. He said, after, at that time Nagarjuna wasn't there. I mean, there are 400 gap between Nagarjuna and Shakyamuni Buddha. So Shakyamuni Buddha said, after 400 years later, in South India, there were one child, and his name is Gelong Pardin. Gelong Pardin, and then people will call him Nagarjuna. So that person, expensive, probably greatly, widely provides Mahayana teachings. So Buddha already predicted, and after then he will become enlightened. So Buddha said that likewise, right now we all, that is also should know that Dharma friends. Sooner or later, our name will change. Number one, right now we are sentient beings, but we will become Bodhisattvas, Mahabodhisattvas, Bodhisattvas, and then we will become Buddhas. And sooner or later, our Buddha taught us that future, then kind of in this cosmic eon or these years or this day or something, you will become, your name is like that, and then you help like this, and then you will attain Buddhahood. So that this is also we should prepare in our mind. We should be ready. Otherwise, we don't want to carry the name of Mother Singing Being here, yeah, always. So of course, we those all Buddhas, how they became enlightened. Same, we all attain Buddhahood in the same way. So so this Sambhogakaya predict the future enlightenment. It's spontaneity. Spontaneity is that those deeds and so forth are all accomplished without any effort. This is very unique. So if sometimes we say, oh, I could do it spontaneously, I did that, I accomplished that, I'm so happy, we have good luck. Tibetans say Sunam Chimbo. Sunam means merit. Chimbo means great. In English, good luck. So which means related to merit. So when we have merit, then everything spontaneously accomplished. So for instance, we meditate shamatha in the through 9 methods. So we apply first method to 6 or 7 almost, and then we really have to apply diligence. Without diligence, we cannot practice shamatha well. But then we reached on the 8 and 7, 8 level. We don't need too much diligence. Apply diligent, but then on the 9th level we completely tranquility, transformed into tranquility. So likewise, always first we are going to make efforts, but then eventually we will accomplish everything without any effort. Okay, so these some Sambhogakaya, they don't need to apply this effort. Then occurring spontaneously, as in the example of the supreme wish fulfilling gems. Supreme wish fulfilling gem is you heard this story. In the ocean, there is a special jewel. This is a very readily found. Very few people found in the ancient merchants. Ancient times, merchants, they went to the ocean and tried to get jewels. They found different jewels, but this wish fulfilling jewel is very rare. Actually, that is Buddha's activities. So they put keep, and then they make clean. There are lots of things to do. After they go on through all the steps and put on the like a banner or victory banner, and then they supplicate and pray lots of things. So something accomplished, something accomplished. So sometimes in the, for example, Gargun, our monastery, there is a prayer well. Actually, this is really amazing. It's I feel that it's like a wish fulfilling jewel. Its activities are very similar. Anyhow, I did not see wish fulfilling fulfilling jewel, but I heard about many stories about wish fulfilling jewel. So when I remember this prayer well, I remember wish fulfilling jewel. How? Because we spend that day and night. Actually, it's not easy peasy. It's quite difficult. When some old monks shared some stories, it's very sweet stories, funny stories, and the upper monastery is on the mountain, and everything we can see under this like a movies, all the villages, yaks, sheep, horse, other even birds fly this lower part. So we are the very top of the rock, mountain rock, but it's very clean. There's no dirt because of the rocks. So then they call us, the young monks, bring tea, and we brought make tea and brought there, and one bowl is full of tsampa and little bit piece of butter, and then we carry the teapot there, and then there the sunshine, sun is pretty warm, and then uh, especially around the spring season in this moment, and then the people there are some actually that area is no more farmers, quite nomadic, but still we plow the field, plow with the yaks. So we means this village people. So we looking them, and anyhow we see something. Some people circumambulate the lower monastery, and the people coming, going, everything we can see. So it's pretty interesting. So then we stay there listening to stories. Some monks are very joker. They can't speak English. Otherwise, if they can, if they make some movies, it's good, become good movies. They exaggerated a lot of things, make funny things, it's, but they can speak English and only Tibetan. So anyhow, this is very funny things, and we are very interesting to listen that. When they share these sweet stories, and some call me, "Hi, it's your time to spend prayer well." So hard to go there, but no way, because we have a rule and regulations. So we spend that the daytime. That is, I'm talking about the daytime's experience. But nighttime is more difficult than that, because that is nowadays probably little changed. Otherwise, that is under the like a rock, this mountain rock. In front has this wood, and so sometimes the water leaks there, and it's very dark. Some corners. I was very small and very scared about. Actually, we did not say there is a ghost, but just mind in the night. Dark is so difficult. And then somebody knocked the door. Hi, it's your time to spend prayer well. And then I have no freedom. I mean, I should go, otherwise the discipliner punish me. So then I went there. It's very cold in the winter, and just wear some dharma robe. And then we have some mountain gods. Mountain gods. Sometimes they say, "Pah!" and they're scared and jump, and that makes more scared. And then sometimes we have flashlight. Sometimes we just come through the moonlight. So we're looking right side, left side is something or hearing something. So eventually we reach in this room, and then we have to spend that. I shared that, yeah, before. We spend, sometimes fall asleep, and the head extended the, how to say, uh, head on this prayer wall. It's happened like that, and then little bit wake up, and then there's a one clock, very big clock, but they put it into the glass box. Only we can see. We cannot move this. Otherwise, some possible, yeah. So in front of this clock, there's a bottle lamp is light, and then most time 1.5 hour we have to spend in the middle of night, and little bit spend and looking, little bit spend looking, so hard. But that is the actually difficult part I just shared. But the main thing is, I felt that is a wish fulfilling jewel, means that people offered lots of things for or to that prayer well. For example, if people are sick and they ask to that, we communicate that prayer like a person to person. So how should we communicate? So for example, one person say, "Oh, I have for example, $10. So we lost a yak last night. So please protect it from the wolves. We have many wolves. We have many no tigers, leopards, and so forth, and bear. So that's where please protect this, for example." And then one monk come there and share that. Oh, this family name is that, and yak's name is that, and then ask, please protect that. And then they say, and then one monk to spend this prayer well, and then one monk should go out. There's a conch, that conch, and then below this play or below this conch, and then the sponsor who donated the $10 for them listen it. If this conch sounds well, they are less worried. So that's where they're less worried. Exactly, yaks are safe. So it happened many times. Some, of course, it's related to karma, yeah. So otherwise, most of the time, and then the same like people got sick, people sick at that time they ask to pray that. So that's where people offering. So those monks are in the mountainside. Many monks in the mountainside. So the families are far. Some family are very close because their family are near this monastery. Some monks' home family is so far, and then the road is not so well at that time. Most they should go through the horse. So some walk. So that's where they not easily get lots of food and so forth. But of course, monastery give. But main thing is they have a little bit offering things from there. So that's where it's like a wish fulfilling jewel. So because it helps a lot. Okay, offering things are one thing, yeah, but the main thing is people sick or people lost something, then they get back those what they lost. Even right now, I'm talking about the conch. That is also has story. Probably that same conch I heard from old monks. One day, some thieves stole those two conchs, and then they went for the red horse. The distance from monastery to their home is one more days. So they took there, But after then people search where is that and follow they notice some stole that, and then they put that conch anywhere, but the sound comes like a boo, and eventually they dig the ground and put under there. But then this monastic come there and they found the conch because this conch below. They say that it's possible for the in, in the in front of pure perceptions. So that's where there are some stories. So wish fulfilling jewel is the right now. What is our real wish fulfilling jewel? Our bodhicitta. So because we have bodhicitta, we can benefit others. If we have no more knowledge, doesn't matter, we can benefit others. Even we have a single knowledge, through this we can benefit others. Especially through bodhicitta, we will become enlightened. So that is our goal. Become enlightened means we free from all the suffering. So that's where right now our wish fulfilling gem, here says gem, yeah, gems, is in our mind. That is bodhicitta, and of course our prayer well, and of course our amulets. Don't look down, even dharma, of course dharma books and so forth, and the dharma robes and all your even, for example, you receive profound teaching from your guru. At that time you wear some clothes. If you respect that clothes, I think that is reasonable. Reasonable means marpa lotsaba, he went to the Naropa, so he received profound teachings from Naropa, and he came back to Tibet. His relative is a businessman, little bit is a good, little rich. So then he became his sponsor, and then Marpa gives a little bit teachings. At that time, teachings are expensive, and then very rarely give teach, and people are so hard to invite it. So then Marpa went to village. He collected many gold. But he wear a very old clothes. And then his relative, his name is also Marpa Golek. So then he asked Marpa Lozawa, I'm a little confused that you collected a lot of gold, but you wear a very old clothes. So I can give you new clothes. Why you do that? Why do you do that? And then he asked, then Marpa said, I'm collecting this gold for receiving teachings and from my profound guru, Naropa and so forth, and bring these teachings in Tibet and give to the Tibetans. At that time, his environment is Tibetan main environment, and he know the future Dharma flourish everywhere. So that's one his answer. Second answer is, oh, I'm okay with to wearing that old clothes because I receive profound, unfathomable teachings from my soul or heart guru Naropa. At that time, I was wearing these clothes, so I don't want to throw away, or I don't want to remove this. So he said that. So that's where sometimes it's very reasonable that you have some even clothes you can respect. So that means those outside things are methods. Through this way we can practice. So Lord Jigten Sunggu said, if you do something skillfully, everything is cause to accumulate merit. So that's why we, and then through this way we're training our mind, and then we washed all the negative obscurations. So then its essence of own being is that even though it manifests various souls of form, they are not its true nature. They are like the colors picked up in a crystal. Thus, the ornament of Mahayana Sutara says, Perfect experience in every domain, a complete entourage, the place, the marks, the form, the perfect use of Dharma teaching and its deeds. These are the various characteristics. Yeah, that's a part I already explained, so I don't think need to repeat. Also, in the ornament of a clear realization, it says this is also taught by Nagarjuna. No, this Asanga. Okay, no material Buddha to Asanga. That endowed means possess. Yeah, endowed with the 32 marks and 80 adornments is known as the enjoyment body of the Buddha because it partakes of enjoy. Partakes means join in, how to say, in activities. Partakes of enjoys the Mahayana. Yeah, that's the same. The third, the emanation body, Nirmanakaya. So we heard in Tibetan Tuku, or kind of Nirmanakaya, it's talking about that. Also has 8 principal characteristics. Those of its base. Number 1. Number 2, its cause. Number 3, its domain. Number 4, its duration. Duration means time, yeah. Its character, its role of encouraging, its maturing function, and its liberating function. It's okay. So this 8, those are, and then its base is the Dharmakaya from which it emanates without there being any movement. So that's where Nirmanakaya is also radiate from Dharmakaya. That's number 1. And its cause is tremendous compassion aspiring to benefit every single being. If we, how important, we say, may I attend 3 kayas. If we are going to attend 3 kayas, then the cause of Nirmanakaya is compassion, yeah? Its domain embraces means hold, yeah? Both the very pure lines and quite impure ones. So that's exactly. So of course Nirmanakaya has pure land, but quite impure ones. Like this land is a quite impure ones. So that's why this is Shakyamuni Buddha's pure land. Its duration is that it endures without interruption for as long as the world endures. Actually, later is explained because through the Nirmanakaya form, Buddhas greatly endlessly benefit us until the samsara is empty. Its character is to manifest forms as the 3 types of emanation. Okay, so they are talking here. Creative emanations endowed with outstanding skill in and mastery of a given art or craft, such as playing, lotto, and so forth. So this Nirmanakaya is there are like statues, and then different music and craft which made by wood. There are, for example, one Shakyamuni Buddha. I think this story perhaps you heard, if this is not too much. There is one Kungbo Bin. There is one person is little kind of, I think it's okay to say foolish, but foolish is not stupid. Okay, little bit kind of not so intelligent. So one time he went to the Lhasa Uzang area, and there is a Jo Shakyamuni's statue. So he come there, and then he look at the statue. Statue is little bit smiles that is in the gorgeous. It made by that, and then at the temple he already went somewhere, so nobody there. And then there was one dog came there, and then some Thomas put in front of this statue, and then he just look what this is, and then that dog takes away, and that dog ate that Thomas. And then he look at the face of the Buddha's statue, and then this is statue. Yeah, it's already made with smiles, so he just showed smiles like this. And then after a little while, through window side, there like a wind. It blows the butter limbs. Yeah, it blow away. And still he look at this Buddha statue. Its face is full of smile. It's the same like before. And then he said, oh, he called Jowo. Jowo means that statue's name. You are good one, because if your food Thomas take it by dogs, still you are showing smiles, and there's the candlelight, many butter light candle lights, they blow off or blow away by the wind, still you are smiles, so seems you are a good person. And then may you keep my shoes, I'm going to Korah. So he remove his shoes. Usually we don't put the we remove shoes outside of temple. Yeah, still we are doing here. This is the tradition, but he wear inside, because that's why, I mean, he don't know well how to do, but his mind is very pure. And then he asked Joe, that statue, please keep my shoes. So then he put shoes on the Joe, and then he went to the Korah, and he come back. Then he eat some this Thomas, and first before he go to Second he ate some Thomas, and then after he went, and then this person who take care of temple, he came back, and he see the shoes on the in front of the statues, the front of the statue, and he shocked. Of course, it's a very unusual, and he suddenly said, "Oh, all the lost Thomas and still shoes. Who did that?" And he pick up these shoes and try to throw away that. And then at that time, that Joe spoke. That person, he said, just leave these shoes, because the Kumbo being this man is a little bit Tibetan Limba is kind of foolish, but not negative. So he asked me to keep it. So that time Joe spoke that. So that's there are long story, but I don't think need that much. So anyhow, here says craving emanation endowed with the outstanding skills in the mastery of giving or art or craft something. So which means they are Nirmanakayas. So they benefit. They benefit. And also one time, this is in the India. So one Tara statue is there. One person gave beans, green beans to Tara many times, and but Tara, that is Tara's statue. Tara did not eat that. How many times he tried to put it in the mouth, it come back. The bean is rolling back. So then eventually he is like upset. Oh, Tara, he cried. I mean, I try to feed you, but you don't eat. And then Tara says, don't cry, I will help you. So she spoke. So that's where there are many like these stories, these Nirmanakayas whole benefit. And through this way, then they have arise strong faith and devotion, and then they slowly attain Buddhahood. There are kind of these stories. And then birth emanations that take birth in various inferior bodies as specific types of existence. For example, as a hare, if I'm right, rabbit. So the Buddha Nirmanakayas are they they rebirth in different bodies. Sometimes the higher bodies, this letter says, but sometimes the lower. Usually we say animals are lower beings because they are reborn in the lower realms. But this rabbit. There is a story. One time, one Tangsong sage, he meditated in the solid place, remote place, and then a solitary place, and then there was no rain. And then there wasn't rain for many times, and then he couldn't eat any kind of these fruits because sage don't eat doesn't eat the normal food. He did not went town. He just meditated in the mountainside. And then one year there wasn't rain well, so then there's no plants, no fruits, and sage almost died because starvation or something. And then sage say, "Oh, thought it's not good because I break my promise, but I should go to the town or some try to find a food." So, and then sage they make fires like a ginseng fire puja, something like that. Before after retreat they do, yeah. So then there was coming one rabbit. One rabbit came there and jumped into the fire, but the fire could not burn it. And then sage is a little bit surprised. Oh, what is that? And then rabbit talked to him. And said, "Let me burn and eat my meat." So that rabbit said that. So then this now that term, that rabbit was this Shakyamuni Buddha's previous life. So the Nirmanakaya is a benefit in different ways. So eventually the power of their this bodhicitta of rabbit and the karma of this sage, they got a very good rains, and then he liberated from starvations and so forth. There are many stories like this. So that one, and then supreme emanation that manifests the 12 Ds descend from Tushita. Descend means come from Tushita as having entering the mother's womb and so forth, and eventually entering great peace. So this story, actually there are 12 things about the Buddha's deed. So it's good month right now. This is Sagadawa, so we are on there. So I'll try to talk this 12 part, okay? And as it says in Ornament of Mahayana Sutara, constantly manifesting as an artist, a hummingbird, the great enlightenment and nirvana, and Buddha's emanation body is a great experience of liberation. So it's already explained that. As is said in the Uttara Tantra, actually why we say Uttara Tantra or those things, the reason is that we are talking about that is because the main reason is proof. Otherwise, I thought maybe that I think this is as not so much proof, yeah. So then Buddha said, and they exactly this experienced like that, and then this proof. So here it says, through emanation of various kinds, he manifestly takes birth. Number one, right now we are talking about Shakyamuni Buddha. Descends from Tushita. So Tushita is heaven, yeah. So then, and this is first. Then second, enters the womb. So enters the womb is his mother Mayadeva. Buddha enters the womb of Mayadeva, and where the place is Lumbini. Lumbini is right now we have this place in between India and Nepal. Yeah, and then number 3 is born. Is born is also the reason here say born is unique because it's not born from the womb. So then number four skilled in all arts and crafts. So that's where many think, oh, Buddha is uneducated. Probably only he did not tried any training, any things, but as he says, skilled in all arts and crafts. But his skill is very top, very unique. So that's where he training everything. Number 5, he enjoys the company of his consorts. So this is also this Buddha married his consort. So his consort name is Yashodhara. So Yashodhara and Buddha married. Buddha married, and Buddha has son, Rahul or something. So that's where Buddha experienced about samsaric. That's where Buddha said about the samsaric situations. And then number 6, renounce. So renounce means, oh, since samsara has like this, so I renounce. Not like that. Buddha really experienced about samsaric situations. So when Buddha was with Yashodhara, he always looking through window side, outside. And then Yashodhara, of course, she asked, what happened? What happened to you? And then he answered, I'm searching suffering. And then Yashodhara a little bit shocked. And it's quite funny. Everybody tried to run away suffering, but you are searching suffering. And so that's where Buddha searched suffering. And Buddha noticed that the king's stage is also suffering. And the power of a kingdom is suffering. And then all samsara, there are lots of the 6 realms are in front of eyes. That's where he felt that, he noticed that, so he renounced samsara. So renounce samsara means we try to reduce attachment. We don't want to reject all these things. For example, we receive something, Gampopa said that if spontaneously delivered to you something, don't reject them, because this is the siddhis. They are the siddhis. So which means siddhi means we say, oh, this is siddhi, that is siddhi. Siddhi means result of a good marriage, yeah. So that's where renounce means less attached. So then Buddha, he renounced, that means he left from his kingdom. His father king tried to how to say it, became him, his son became the king, but he did not. So that's why he went, and he said one time he did not reject completely his wife Yashodhara and the son, but Buddha said that I will go to the forest and I will search the cause of suffering, and after I search the cause of suffering, and I should understand how to free from suffering, and if that exactly happened, I will come back. So he promised. So that's where exactly he went that. And then this number 7 say undergoes hardships. So that's where Buddha did many ways for practicing, and he went under the river and went to the cave without food, and he did a lots of undertaking hardships. He engaged many undertaking hardships. But eventually he thought, oh, meditation and look at the mind, that is the best path. So he found the red path. So now renounce seems perhaps you feel, oh, you told me this morning that we should practice dharma happily, but renunciation seems they are paradox. No. So happily means when we see about the samsara situation, don't connect with I and samsara. I means grasping and samsara. When you connect your grasping and samsara, your samsara, then you are in the sorrow. You feel sorrow. You are suffering. So that's where you connect samsara through compassion. So that's where you connect samsara through compassion till rolling down from your eyes. You can cry, but this crying is a very sweet crying. This crying is not sorrow. So the crying has different. So that's where you're always thinking that I'm going to liberate. Those beings are suffering. Even sometimes, oh, they are not suffer because they aren't suffering. They are happy because they have like this, those, that. But this is the one important thing is temporary happiness creates suffering. That people don't know. For that reason, Buddha says, realize this truth of suffering, or realize the suffering. Donghar Shiparsa, that means realize the suffering. Kunjung Pangwarsa, and give up the cause of suffering. Lam Jula Timparsa, practice the path. Come practice the dharma. That means come to the path. And then may you blossom the cessation. Cessation means after you cease the suffering and the cause of suffering. So you should understand the suffering means, many people think, as Yashodhara asked Buddha, everybody think I know suffering. We really don't know real suffering. The real suffering means we think, oh, if I got this, then this is my real happiness. And we got that, and after years or weeks, it doesn't work well. It makes us angry. It makes us angry. If we lost, and then we lost one thing, and there is a one thief man, for example, but we pointing 10 people. Maybe he stole, maybe she stole, maybe that, maybe those, and then one thing create 10 negative karmas. So that's where first we try to get one thing and give a value, but sometimes something happens. Sometimes we lost. It changed. So that's where we start to reduce attachment. Something have happened. We have something. Oh, may it benefit all beings and keep. This is very smart. If this is so that's then sometimes we think, oh, renunciation practice is only for monastics. We are lay people. We cannot practice that. That is also not true. So that's why I said you reduce attachment and always focus. Even that have some you want possessed some good things. Oh, I will keep it. One day, if something happened, that means impermanent. This is not permanent. So you already prepared that in your mind. Then something happened, you will not engage in a serious situation. So nowadays, many young generations in different countries, they are students of the higher schools, but they jumped from the bridges and how these burdens that happened. Yeah, that means they cannot how to say, they don't have preparation in the mind. So that's where right now Dharma practitioners are very few. I think the other, there are many numbers of other practitioners, but the Dharma practitioners are pretty rare. But anyhow, all the practices are good, Dharma or non-Dharma. All practices are good, but the thing is, we all have to learn, practice well, and it should help. Sometimes we think we only should help like people who are very hungry, thirsty. Of course, they are directly, manifestly experience suffering in front of our eyes and ears and so forth. Of course, we should help, but sometimes we think, oh, these school students are very pleasant, happy, they have a boy, girlfriend, they enjoy. But if we don't give them kind of some compassion and don't let them prepared when when they experience suffering, then they're always ready to jump from the bridges and so forth. Then these suffering is not only their suffering. For example, I'm not criticize them. They are not object of criticism. They are the object of compassion. So we like to save their life. We try to make good people, and the future they benefit countries, they benefit our societies, they benefit their family, they benefit whole world. So that's where for example, Buddha, right now we are Dharma practitioners, so I think it's okay we say bring Buddha. Buddha is a Shakyamuni Buddha. Right now with 12 deeds, these things is one person's life story, you know. This is a one person, Siddhartha. So that's where he, how much, even he already pre-nirvana, but still today we are talking about this and we have a small experience, happiness is his kindness. So that's we should, so we have a very, how to say, we have a responsibility to take care of all beings. And so that's and then if they jumped from the bridge and something, and number one, directly their parents, their relatives, their friends, they are unhappy, they are sad. So that's number one. Number two, they studied very well, they have a great knowledge. If they utilize their knowledge for benefit others, if they become a school teacher or something, it's they can greatly benefit, but they just arise in a moment. Their knowledge, they arise. So that is one thing. And then if we go a little bit one more steps about Dharma, so them that the few I can say, because it's the karmas, their karmas. But in the generally how in Dharma says, after the suicide, then actually this not only suicide, after death without Dharma, then what happened is they will experience pardo. Pardo means between stage, very scary, very unpleasant. Even somebody speak loudly make nervous, you know. And then helpless, more than homeless, really, that's helpless and so forth. So right now how much we are weak or poor, or how much we have problems, we say that still we can communicate and we prefer. For example, we are all outside, the sun is very hot, extremely hot. At least without pay we can enter in the shade. Yeah, if we are very thirsty, if we don't have mineral water, we can drink normal water, something like that. But in the Bardo and the lower realms, especially hunger ghost realm, they have always fire in their stomach. So that's where we should focus more in the Dharma practice. And And then number 8 goes to the seat of enlightenment. Yeah. Then number 9 vanquishes the arms of the harmful force. So vanquish, of course, you know that means conquers. Yeah, conquers armies. Armies of harmful force. Whose harmful force? Buddha's harmful forces are his afflictive emotions, his obscurations of knowledge, and agitation and dullness. So Buddha don't have other outer enemies. So if you watched Buddha's life story, Buddha's father created a war, so he went there. He make how to say negotiation, and then the negotiation. How to say this? Harmonious or something. So they. Anyhow, Buddha did not have outer enemies, but the inner enemy is angry emotion and so forth. So Buddha purified them. So that's where then Buddha's name is. Another name is Arhati. Arhati means who conquers, vanquishes the armies of harmful force. Number 10 attains perfect enlightenment. That means then Buddha become enlightened. And then number 11 turns the wheel of Dharma. So then after then Buddha give teachings. Yeah, Buddha give teachings, and sometimes Buddha suddenly doesn't give. For example, Shakyamuni Buddha did not give his profound teachings for 49 days, but some Buddhas did not teach for longer than that. So that's where Dharma is very not easy to receive us, because Buddhas don't greet about Dharma, but then see, oh, right now it's not time to teach. If we try to teach, then it's not right time. So that's where they are waiting. For that reasons, we always should be ready to receive Buddha's teaching. And then number 12 is pass away. That is also Buddha taught us. These all 12 deeds are Buddha's teaching, because pass away means in reality Buddha is beyond the coming and the going, so they're birthless, deathless. But he showed us in the relative truth, the pass away. That means, oh, if Buddha passed away, of course this our ordinary body will stop to rent to the over consciousness. So that's where death means that. So in all those realms, quite impure, he shows these deeds for as long as world endure. Okay, so it's today we will stop here, and it's very good to talk about Buddha's 12 deeds. I think it's called 12 deeds. So because this is Sagadava, and then let us dedicate our merits for all welfare of all mother sentient beings. Arise bodhicitta from your mind, okay? Chancho semjo rembo je ma je ba na je 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 ba nyam ba me ba yang kon kon de be war jo.
May bodhicitta, the precious and supreme mind, arise in whom it has not yet arisen. Where it has arisen, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher.
Thank you so much. And please, for example, every morning when you wake up, happily wake up, okay? That you think, oh, I have a Buddha nature. Usually you think, oh, I have new shoes. Maybe that is good, but instead you should connect with Buddha. Oh, I have a Buddha nature. So then your mind is a Buddha nature comes very good relationship, yeah, become good relationship, and so then you will recognize your Buddha nature. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Khenpo, and thank you to everyone who joined us on the live stream.